Now, what of your constructive thinking? Programming must be such as to obviate time lag. We must evaluate the factors already mentioned and many others, such as the reactivation of the spacecraft which was thought to have been destroyed so long ago. After having considered all these evaluations, I will construct a minor plan to destroy these Omans, whom we have permitted to exist on sufferance, and with them that shipload of despicably interloping humans. That is well. Zoyar's mind seethed with a malevolent ferocity starkly impossible for any human mind to grasp. And to that end, we must intensify still more our program of procuring data. We must revise our mechs in the light of our every technological advance during the many thousands of cycles since the last such revision was made. Our every instrument of power, of offense and of defense must be brought up to the theoretical ultimate of capacity. And as to the great brain, I have been able to think of nothing, First Lord, to add to the undertakings you have already set forth. It was not expected that you would. Now, is it your final thought that these interlopers are in fact the descendants of those despised humans of so long ago? It is. It is also mine. I return, then, to my work upon the brain. You will take whatever measures are necessary. Use every artifice of intelligence and of ingenuity and our every resource. But abate this intolerable nuisance, and soon. It shall be done, First Lord. The second thinker issued orders. Frenzied, round-the-clock activity ensued. Hundreds of mechs operated upon the brains of hundreds of others, who in turn operated upon the operators. Then, all those brains charged with the technological advances of many thousands of years, the combined hundreds went unrestingly to work. Thousands of work mechs were built and put to work at the construction of larger and more powerful spacecraft. As has been implied, those battle skeletons of the Stretts were controlled by their own built-in mechanical brains, which were programmed for only the simplest of battle maneuvers. Anything at all out of the ordinary had to be handled by remote control, by the specialist mechs at their 2 miles long control board. This was now to be changed. Programming was to be made so complete that almost any situation could be handled by the warship or the missile itself instantly. The Stretts knew that they were the most powerful, the most highly advanced race in the universe. Their science was the highest in the universe. Hence, with every operating unit brought up to the full possibilities of that science, that would be more than enough. Period. This work, while it required much time, was very much simpler than the task which the first thinker had laid out for himself on the giant computer plus, which the Stretts called the Great Brain. In stating his project, First Lord Zower had said, "Assignment to construct a machine that will have the following abilities. 1. To contain and retain all knowledge and information fed into it, however great the amount. 2. To feed itself additional information by peyondiring all planets, wherever situate, bearing intelligent life. 3. To call up instantly any and all items of information pertaining to any problem we may give it. 4. To combine and recombine any number of items required to form new concepts. 5. To formulate theories, test them, and draw conclusions helpful to us in any manner in work." It will have been noticed that these specifications vary in one important respect from those of the Enacs and Univacs of Earth. Since we of Earth cannot peyondire, we do not expect that ability from our computers. The Stretts could and did. When Sandra came back into the office at 5 o'clock, she found Hilton still sitting there, in almost exactly the same position. "Come out of it, Jarve." She snapped a finger. "That much of that is just simply too damn much." "You're so right, child." He got up, stretched, and by main strength shrugged off his foul mood. "But we're up against something that is really a something. And I don't mean perchance." "How well I know it." She put an arm around him, gave him a quick, hard hug. "But after all, you don't have to solve it this evening, you know." "No, thank God." "So why don't you and Temple have supper with me? Or better yet, why don't all 8 of us have supper together in that bachelor's paradise of yours and Bill's?" "That'd be fun." And it was. Nor did it take a week for Beverly Bell to recover from the ordeal of 8. On the following evening, she herself suggested that the team should take another shot at that utterly fantastic terra incognita of the multiple mind, jolting though it had been. "But are you sure you can take it again so soon?" Hilton asked. "Sure. I'm like that famous gangster's moll, you know, who bruised easy but healed quick. And I want to know about it as much as anyone else does." They could do it this time without any help from Tule. The linkage fairly snapped together and shrank instantaneously to a point. Hilton thought of Terra, and there it was, full size, yet occupying only one infinitesimal section of a dimensionless point. The multi-mind visited relatives of all 8, but could not make intelligible contact. If asleep, it caused pleasant dreams. If awake, pleasant thoughts of the loved one so far away in space. But that was all. It visited mediums, in trance and otherwise, many of whom, not surprisingly now, were genuine, with whom it held lucid conversations. Even in linkage, however, the multi-mind knew that none of the mediums would be believed, even if they all told, simultaneously, exactly the same story. The multi-mind weakened suddenly, and Hilton snapped it back to Audrey. Beverly was almost in collapse. The other girls were white, shaken and trembling. Hilton himself, strong and rugged as he was, felt as though he had done 2 weeks of hard labor on a rock pile. He glanced questioningly at Larry. ".638 seconds, sir," the Oman said, holding up a millisecond timer. "How do you explain that?" Carnes demanded. "I'm afraid it means that without Oman backing, we're out of luck." Hilton had other ideas, but he did not voice any of them until the following day, when he was rested and had Larry alone. "So carbon-based brains can't take it. 1 second of that stuff would have killed all 8 of us. Why? The Masters had the same kind of brains we have." "I don't know, sir. It's something completely new. No Master or group of Masters ever generated such a force as that. I can scarcely believe such power possible, even though I have felt it twice. It may be that over the generations, your individual powers, never united or controlled, have developed so strength that no human can handle them in fusion. And none of us ever knew anything about any of them. I've been doing a lot of thinking. The Masters had qualities and abilities now unknown to any of us. How come? You Omans, and the Stretts too, think we're descendants of the Masters. Maybe we are. You think they came originally from Earth or Terra, to Ardu. That'd account for our legends of Mu, Atlantis, and so on. Since Ardu was within Peyondix's range of Strett, the Stretts attacked it. They killed all the Masters, they thought, and made the planet uninhabitable for any kind of life, even their own. But one shipload of Masters escaped and came here to Ardry.
far beyond peyondix range.